What's up, guys? We'll give it a minute until everyone gets in here, and then we'll start off. What did everyone else trade today? Let's see. What's up, guys? We'll give it like a minute, and then we'll start. Yeah, I heard there's some Thinkorswim issues too. Good thing I don't use those shorts. And Bev, yeah, looks like everyone traded the same thing. Ogen, yeah, that's the one I missed. Let's see. Alright, let's give it another minute and then I'll start it up. And yes, this is my walk spot. Good days, bad days, I'm still here. Ogen higher. People are still joining, so I'm gonna still give it another second. Yeah, driving with Bao and walking with Alex. We both have our own series. Now we just need Tosh to go gardening. It's kind of cold outside, shit. Alright, I'll start up. Alright, so what happened today, what happened on Friday, and what happened all of last week, right? So, I mean, you gotta be living under a rock if you don't know that the pot sector is kind of going crazy, right? So, you know, looking into all these stocks, looking into all these plays, they were kind of all moving in sympathy to TLRY, right? So TLRY was like the head of the snake, and then what ended up happening is TLRY got smoked, and then, you know, we would have assumed that NBEV and all these other stocks would have gotten smoked as well. But instead, it was like when TLRY started to pull back, NBEV started to kind of detach from TLRY and become its own index, as you would call it. But the long story short of it is that, you know, these setups, these NBEVs, these IGCs are the bread and butter setups that don't really come along too often, right? You know, you have the daily charts that come around, you know, the daily plays that you play every day, make a couple thousand on it here and there. But, you know, the stocks like NBEV that go from 150 to 10 in 3 days, or the stocks like IGC that go from, I don't know, fucking what was it, like $1 to $4 in like 3 days or 4 days. Those don't happen too often, especially IGC when it went on no news, right? So immediately those things are on my radar, like immediately. So again, these are the setups that I like to bet bigger on because I know there's a higher probability that once they do unwind, they're gonna fucking get smoked. So again, the key to trading is timing and discipline, right? You could always be right, but you know, if your timing is wrong, you're fucked, right? So again, NBEV, I was kind of too early on. Let's start from the beginning. So NBEV, I was kind of too early on. And, you know, I took size on these setups because, you know, they made sense to me. They were setups that, you know, I would call an A+ setup, a bread and butter setup, a setup that I know that is going to pay me, right? So the analogy that Bao always talks about is, imagine if you saw your hands in blackjack before you could bet. Every single time you get a 20, you're going to bet hard because you know there's a higher chance that, you know, you're going to win those hands. But sometimes the dealer's going to get blackjack and you're going to be screwed anyway. But that doesn't mean that you stop betting on 20 the next time, you know? So it's a matter of trusting your process. It's a matter of understanding that, you know, you have to be able to stop out, to be able to attack higher and just do everything the right way, right? So if I didn't stop out on NBEV at 350, I would have been dead the next day at 5. The next day, if I didn't stop at $6, I would have been dead the next day at 10, right? So the key is to stay disciplined and respect your setups, because they will work. I believe in my process. I know my process works, and I know that, when these things do start to unwind, it's time to add size. So yes, I was early on NBEV for the past 2 days, on Thursday and Wednesday. Yes, I took pretty big losses, $30,000 and $40,000 losses. But if I didn't take those losses, they would have been 10 times as big. So again, all this stuff is relative. All these numbers are all relative, but the key for everyone to pay attention to is the stop out areas and how I kind of managed it after the backside was confirmed. So, I'm pretty pissed, Wednesday and Thursday, taking some pretty big losses. But I was kind of happy, because if I didn't cover at 350 and if I didn't cover at 6, there's no way I would be mentally sharp enough to be able to size in when the backside was finally confirmed. So the way I played NBEV on Friday was, take a small piece based on the $9 line and the $10 line, but hammer the hell into it once it goes red, right? Once it goes red, NBEV, after a 5-day parabolic move, chances are that is going to be the death. That is going to be game over. That is going to be the signal that shit's not coming back. So that's what I did. I was short in the 9s or the 880s or something like that, but I think red was at $7.50 or $8, something around those lines on Friday. And the moment, it was kind of going red, I just dropped my balls onto the setup. I, started to put on my full size that I was expecting to use. And, the stock halted down at that point, and it was just perfect timing. So, again, not letting myself get too overly exhausted with size, not letting myself kind of oversize early in the 9s or the 10s, and just because whatever, I had to let the stock confirm to me. I had to let the stock tell me it was time to load the hell into it. And I knew that once it went red, that was the signal that I needed, especially on day 5 of a parabolic move from 1 to 10. That's what I needed to see in order to be able to kind of put on the amount of size that I was expecting to do. And, I covered too early. I covered at $7 because, I guess I was a little bit too excited about the P&L. I was too excited that I finally nailed it. But I had a couple of other scalps in it, just on small pops after that. But forget that. So that was the trade done. That was a great trade. I lost a bunch of money on the front side, but I made it up plus more on the back side, just because I was kind of focused on my setups, because I was focused on being the best. Well, the best way to explain it is, if I didn't cut those losses off the past 2 days before, I would not be emotionally sharp enough to be able to recognize that this was finally the time to load up the size. I would have just been, shy. I would have been hesitant. I would have been like, shit, I got to take the money because I'm scared. I'm this, I'm that. Instead, I went with a clear mind. I made a plan. I said, if it goes red, it's time to drop your size, because that's the signal for confirmation. So that was a great trade. I'm really happy about that. Next was IGC. So IGC was up from 1 to 4 on Friday on absolutely no news at all. 100% sympathy. At least NBEV had some news, I think it was. But, IGC was, a piece of shit. 1 to 4 in 3 days. The float is about 25 million. It's not really too much of a low float. And they just had an offering about a month ago at $1 or something, or it was $1 million at 110 or some shit like that. I don't remember, but so the way I was kind of approaching that is, okay, once the new head of the snake, NBEV, is dead, this is probably going to have more of a reason to pull back. If TLRY, CGC, Cron, and NBEV, all the pot stocks are pulling back, and this one is up still on no news, how can you expect it to still hold up? It has absolutely no reason to hold up. So, I took some size into this position, but the real level to add in hard was once it broke the 330 line. It was $3.30. They were kind of absorbing that $3.30, $3.40. They were kind of absorbing that the whole time. And once that broke, we were down to 260. So I took size on that position with the plan to swing half of my position overnight over the weekend, because I know this company's a piece of shit, and chances are they will probably have an offering because of the nature of the stock. Up on no news, massive volume, it has absolutely no reason to stick around. So I covered my position in the 3s or the 280s, and then I held half my position overnight from like 340 or something like that. And the stock closed at like 260 and was gapping down. So my plan today was just to hit IGC. I was not even focused on MBEV. I didn't really give a shit about it, but I'll get to that later. So IGC, we wake up today and there's an offering, right? There's a $15 million ATM that came out on IGC today. And like, why the hell wouldn't they raise money? Like, it just makes sense. So seeing that, recognizing that they had an offering, recognizing it came from $1, I didn't just say, oh, I'm going to cover my position, I'm going to call it a day. I instead added to my position because it gave me more conviction that this thing was really going to unwind. So I doubled up on my position, and I was not too patient on it. I covered like 220s, maybe 225, something like that. I wanted to hold it to the 180s, but the profit was too good not to take it. And again, I used that confirmation of the ATM offering to give me even more confidence to instead size in more rather than just cover it for a nice win. And that was the right move. That was the right move. It had absolutely no reason to be up. We're going to look at it next week. It's going to probably be $1.50 or $1.80, right? So these are the setups that, these are the double jacks that I get in blackjack that I want to bet big on. These are the setups that I know are going to likely work out, and I want to be there to capture as much of it as I can because I know that the setups like this don't come around too often, right? So fast forward to MBEV. So IGC had an offering today, and then NBEV having a fucking offering too. So I'm just like, God damn it, like they're being smart. They're taking advantage of the, the liquidity, the volume, the hype, right? So going into MBEV, I was shorting a little bit pre-market just as a scalp, just playing off like the lines. I think it was 560 line. I was shorting 540s and I covered the 5s. I covered at $5 and oh shit, it's 4. Okay, whatever. I covered at $5 and 5 minutes after I covered, they had an offering. And I'm just like, God damn, bro. God damn. Like, you couldn't fucking, like how bad is my fucking timing? It had a $50 million offering, and then it went from fucking $5 to 460. I'm just like, bro, if I held like fucking 5 minutes longer, I would have doubled my money up. And I was just really pissed about it. But, I said to myself, if this thing bounces, which I didn't think it would. I didn't think it even had a reason to bounce. But I said, SSR is on. They might play some games. If this thing bounces, I'm going to load up because this has absolutely no reason to not fucking break down. You're up from $1 to $10 and you're now at $5 and you do a massive $50 million offering. Massive for a company like this. There's no shot that this doesn't die. So what did I do? I got aggressive. I got really aggressive when it went near $5, right? My average was like $4.98 or $5, something like that. And I got aggressive on it because I said to myself, dude, this has no reason to be popping. This has no reason to be jumping. It's all SSR. It's all bullshit, right? So I sized into it, and my plan was, risk 20 cents to make 60 cents. Short at 5, cover at 520 if I'm wrong, but, cover in the fucking 450s if I'm right. It just made sense to do that. And it doesn't come around too often where, we get a setup that has a big offering, has volume, and bounces up from fucking, I think it was like 420, 430 to like 520s or some shit like that. That's an easy play. It felt like an easy play for me. So, these are the setups that I like to load up on. These are the setups that make the most sense to me. These are the setups that every single time I get in blackjack, I'm going to bet big on, right? And they're not always going to work out. And that's where risk management comes into play. That's where having a plan comes into play. That's where stopping out comes into play. So, again, excuse me. Again, it's been a crazy month. I think Friday was my biggest single one day in like a long time. And I've never really had a back-to-back 6-figure day, which is really cool to see. But, the reality is like that doesn't really change anything. I'm going to go in tomorrow and trade the same way I normally trade. If there's no setups, if there's nothing crazy, I'm not going to size into it. But, these were special setups. These were special opportunities. These were opportunities that don't really come around too often. So I was okay being able to risk a little bit more because I knew that if I did it the right way, the payoff would be extraordinary. So the key is to stay disciplined, to wait for your setups, to size into your setups. And then when you get the confirmation that your setups are working, that your plan is working out, you can't be afraid to add back and ruin your average, right? My mentality on NBEV was it had an offering, a massive offering, and it bounced on SSR. That's gonna pull back. This has no reason to go up, you know what I'm saying? And people are saying now in chat it's like $4. So, you know, if I held a little bit longer, I would have made more money. But my plan was short at 5, cover at 450. I stuck to my plan. You know, I can't be pissed about leaving money on the table because that's just stupid. You know what I'm saying? So, again, I put a new rule into place. I'm no longer trading stocks above $10 because I don't have an edge in those setups. I'm now focusing on my setups only and letting the experts deal with the other shit. And the reality is the results show for themselves. The results show for themselves. I've seen these setups happen so many times. You know, it's been almost 5 years that I've been trading, almost 5 years. You know, it's not my first rodeo. It's not that I've been doing this for 6 months or a year. You know, I was slowly making money, making $100 a day, making $200 a day, making $500 a day, making $1,000 a day, making $2,000. It's a long process. You know, it's not going to happen overnight. I started when I was, 24 now? So I started when I was like 19 years old, 19 and a half years old. I was still in college. So my biggest advice for everyone that wants to get into this game or wants to learn how to do it is just start. Just start. Just start taking the steps that you need to, wow, NBEV is under 4, shit. See, Bao always talks about when he does recaps, all the stocks tank. Now I'm doing recaps and the shit's tanking. Fuck. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Can't complain. Yeah, so, you know, this doesn't happen overnight. You know, I'm not saying it doesn't happen overnight, but it's just like basketball. You want to get better at your free throws, you keep fucking practicing your free throws. You want to get better at trading, you sit there and you watch tape. You know? It's like there's so many clowns on the internet these days that are selling you the dream and they're selling you the money, they're selling you all this shit, but the truth is trading is not easy, man. It's not easy. You know, it's not meant to be easy. If it was easy, everyone would be able to do it, right? The key is to stay disciplined. The key is to wait. The key is to have your setups, have your process, and believe in your process. Every single time I get 2 jacks or 2 kings in blackjack, I'm gonna bet big. If the dealer gets a 21, you know, that doesn't mean that my setup doesn't work. It's just that 9 times out of 10, your setup's gonna work. That one time it doesn't work, you have to be able to accept that. So, so it's been crazy, man. Like, I'm great, like, I'm happy, I love everything that's doing. But I was kind of talking to Tosh on the phone about it on Friday or Saturday or whatever it was. And he's like, you know, great job, you killed it. And I'm just like, you know, the money's great, it's fantastic, but I'm more focused on the process. I'm more focused on being a more disciplined trader. I'm more focused on sizing bigger into my bread and butter setups. You know, the reality is, yes, I could have done better trading both of these setups. And now I have to learn, improve, so that the next time they come around, you know, I do better on it. I lose less on the front side. I make more on the back side. So, oh shit, 378, fuck. See, right idea, poor execution. Fuck. Oh, I'm pissed. That sucks. Yeah, the key is to start now, you know. I started when I was 19 years old, 19 and a half years old. Now I'm 24, you know. And this gives me an advantage. It gives me an advantage because by the time I'm 30, I'm going to have more experience. You know what I'm saying? So, again, we all start somewhere. We all start with the $100 days. We all start with the $50 days. We all start with the $10 days. And then as you become better, as you form your process, as you become more disciplined, you earn the right to size up and make more money. You know? Maybe tomorrow's going to be a shitty day and there's going to be no setups. And I'm going to make $100 or I'm going to take the day off. You know, the reality is that not all days are going to be home runs. Bao says it the best. He says, being a full-time trader does not mean you trade full-time, right? So what do? I make my money in the morning, which is where most of my edge is. And then I take the rest of the day off because after 10:30, there's zombies. You know, there's a bunch of fucking bullshit between the lull. And I don't want to mess with that. I don't want to do that. You know, I'm having a great day. Over here now, just going to continue doing whatever I'm doing. And that's it. You know, the market has a funny way of working, right? So again, let everyone else make the money on the other plays. Like I saw SAEX was moving. I'm not going to mess with that shit on day one. As tempting as it is, I don't give a shit. I'm going to wait for tomorrow and make it tomorrow. So again, I'm focused on my setups. I'm trying to be as disciplined as I've ever been in my life, and the results show for themselves. There's been plenty of times I've taken massive losses, massive problems or massive losses because I've been stubborn, and I'm just like, how much more money would I have had if I just stopped out where I stopped out, or where I want to stop out, or where my plan was to stop out? And that's why I stopped at 350. I stopped out at 6, and then I shorted the farm at $8. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, trading's been good. Everything's been going well, but I'm still more focused on becoming a better trader, becoming a more disciplined trader, becoming a more focused trader. I'm setting rules in place, like not trading stocks above $10 anymore, setting rules of leaving before the lull starts so I could protect my gains. And, when the backside of these moves do occur, I'm not afraid to bet big on these setups, because I know that once they do unwind, once the backside is confirmed, you're going to get meltdowns like IGC and NBEF today. Absolute meltdowns. So, man, it just feels good to show that I lost 30 grand and 40 grand on Wednesday and Thursday, and then show that, the process is what's more important, and come back with $100,000 day on Friday and then another one today. And I'm just focused on being the best Alex I could be. I'm trying to focus on being the best trader I could be. And the truth is, if you trade well, the money follows, right? And, I lost money in the beginning just like everyone else. It's not like I opened up my fucking trading account and I made $100 every fucking day just off the bat. I lost money, bro. I lost money like anyone else. You find me a trader that hasn't lost money, and he's probably the fucking eyebrow guy. Like, everyone loses money when they start. It's your tuition. You have to learn how to lose right to win right. It started with the $100 days. It started with the $300 days. It started with the $500 days. And then it evolved to the $1,000 days. It evolved to the $2,000 days. It evolved to the $100,000 days. The last time I had a 6-figure day, I can't even remember it. But now I'm trading well. I'm focused on being disciplined. And the results are following. The results are following. So, again, this just proves that if you have a process, you must stick to it. If you have a stop, you must stick to it. If you have your setup working, don't be afraid to ruin your average once you know that the setup is confirmed. Everyone keeps messaging me, I want to size in more, or I want to add to my winner, but it ruins my average. No fucking shit. It's supposed to. And that's where the whole thing with people saying, I just don't know where to start. I don't know what to do. I don't know how am I going to start. That's the whole deal with the boot camp that we're throwing. It's on October 6th. It's for annual members only. And the goal is so that if you don't know anything about trading, or if you're a beginning trader, we're going to help teach you the basics. We're going to help you get the foundation you need to start becoming a really good trader. If you're building a skyscraper, do you want to build that shit out of wood because it's cheaper, or do you want to pay more and do steel because you know that it's going to last longer? It's higher quality. It's like if you're going to go to war, do you want to go to war with a fucking knife, or do you want to go with a lightsaber? So again, there's always opportunity in the market. You just need to know what the hell you're doing. And the boot camp's gonna be fun. Me, Bao, Nico, Tosh, a bunch of people are gonna be there. We're gonna have a pizza party on Friday as well. We're going to have a launch party on Saturday night as well, I think. And that's it. Friday, Saturday, and then go home Sunday, back to reality. But again, the goal for these boot camps is to really help. It is free. It is 100% free if you're an annual member. And, this shit's not fucking cheap. A Las Vegas venue is like $100 grand. We're not getting a Las Vegas venue, but we're still paying a lot of money out of pocket. And we know that this is going to help. We know that it's going to be really fun. And shit, man, if you could put a face to the screen names you see every single day, it just adds more of a personal touch to it. And, we're going to have breakout sessions. I'm going to try to do some group mentoring. I'm going to try to help, maybe give a speech or whatever it is. I just want to, this is a way to give back. This is a way to kind of show that, the process works. And if you trust the process will reward you. So again, it's October 6th, annual members only. Should be fun. I can't wait. I really can't wait. It's going to be a good time. I miss seeing Bao. I miss seeing Tosh. I want to see Nico. I want to meet everyone else that's in MIC. And, you know, the meetup that we had in LA on Saturday, you know, we had like 30 people show up. And the best part is that these traders don't really have too many other traders or trader friends in person to talk about trading to. So here you are going to a coffee shop with 30 other traders that trade similar to you, that live fucking 10 minutes away from you. You know, you could help each other out. And that's the goal, man. That's the goal. So, anyway, you know, I'm excited for tomorrow. I'm excited for what plays there are. You know, if there's nothing, I'm going to take the day off. We're supposed to trade when we have the most edge. If our edge isn't there, it is gambling. We are not gamblers. All right? And the truth is, like, you know, I started 4.5 years ago, and the reality is I would not be where I am without the help of Bao, right? So Bao's been doing this for almost fucking 20 years now. He was trading when there was still fucking fractions instead of decimals, right? So it was like, if this thing was $48 and 3/8 of a fraction or whatever the hell it is. So I don't know how you even did that math, but before decimalization, he was around before there was decimalization. So he knows his shit. And the reality is, the biggest advice that he's given me is to stay disciplined, to stay humble, to do the right thing, and trust your process. So, again, if you want to go to the people like the eyebrow guy or the losers that show their cars and do all this shit, go ahead, pay your fucking $50 a month and have fun losing everything. But if you want to actually learn and invest in your education long term, there's only one option. It's my investing club. And if you don't want to come join, it doesn't matter. You know, we're not here to sell you anything. Our boot camp is free. We're going to have free DVDs. We have free content on YouTube. Like, it just makes sense. But regardless, you know, we're not salesmen. We're just traders. We're trying to do the right thing. The industry is crowded with a bunch of clowns and farmers and idiots that can't do shit. Like, they don't even know how to trade. But anyway, everyone's gonna do something. Our invite is still open. If you're a furu and you don't know how to trade, join MIC for free. We'll teach you how to trade and you can teach your students. That's it. Anyway, I'll do a quick Q&A and then I'm gonna go get some food. What's IGC and NBEF trading at? Anyone? NBEF 397. Shit. Okay. Let's do Q&A. Quick Q&A. I don't know what I should have for lunch. Maybe maybe some steak. Awesome. Thanks, guys. I hope these are helpful. I really hope they're helpful. How long do I recommend to paper trade? Until you become consistently profitable paper trading. It might take fucking 1 month. It might take fucking 6 years. Don't risk real money until you have a process. Why did NBEF squeeze in the morning? SSR. Manipulation, SSR. I hate SSR. What was my biggest challenge when I had a small account? Being selective. I was just trying to trade something. I was just trying to short something because it was up on the day. I didn't have an edge. I didn't have a process. You know what I'm saying? How big was the size of your account when I started? I sold my rims for $2,000. Last Friday on MBEF, your covering point would have been 10. Yeah, it would have been $10 and I would have tried shorting 10.50 instead. What else? Have I ever been scared to fail, scared to blow up, and even though one does, scared to hit the button and lose? Yeah. That's just a problem with you not trusting yourself. That is a problem of you using too much size. That is a problem of you not having an edge. I trust my process so much that I know that, you know, sometimes it's not going to work out. I know that charts like IGC and NBEV are going to pull back. It is only a matter of time. Did you have pattern day trader when you started? Like everyone else, but I use an offshore broker that got rid of it, and I definitely do not recommend one. How many small accounts did I blow up? I forgot. I stopped counting. I stopped fucking counting. Do I hold shorts overnight? Yes, only if it closes on low of the day and if I have padding already. Did I paper trade when I started? No, I was an idiot and I was using my own real money. And I definitely would never do that again because I could have saved myself thousands. What else? Will you guys have any get together like the one Saturday anytime soon? Yeah, we're gonna try to throw those meetups at once a month. Should have sold my Gucci belt too. I have some oops. I have some fucking like $5.99 belts from eBay on. Do you think you could be an 8-figure trader only trading small caps, or would you have to learn big caps too? I'm just focused on my process right now. Yes, there's ultimate goal of making X amount of money per year or just becoming a better trader. My goal right now is to literally just become the best trader I could be, the best Alex I could be, the most disciplined Alex I could be, and everything else is gonna fucking follow. Everything after that is gonna follow. Do you have a tattoo on arm? No. Maybe I'll get an MIC tattoo. That's basically it, guys. Now I'm gonna go get maybe some fucking, I don't know, maybe some $9 Chipotle. Maybe some, I don't know. Oh, I still have the steaks that Bao got me. Maybe I'm gonna make the steaks that Bao got me today. That's actually awesome. Dries tattoo? Nah. So that's it, guys. Solid day, great vibes, and hopefully we can do it again tomorrow. If not, take the day off. Not all days are gonna be $1,000 days. Not all days are gonna be $10,000 days. Not all days are gonna be $100,000 days. I accept that tomorrow might be a $100 day, and that's it, bro. That's it. So, thanks again for showing up, guys. Really appreciate it. See you later.